it's really challenging, especially in the world of social media, to realize that a lot of what we do on social media is a long-term game of creating a sphere of influence around us.
Yes.
So that people know what we represent, what our philosophy is, what our vision is, what the specific mechanism that we use to help people is. It takes people a lot of time and repetition to understand that. And so it can be easy to like look at a singular post and like, oh, nobody liked it or only 2 people did. The interesting thing about that particular conundrum is that the things that get people to like and engage and like tap on your post are not always the same things that get them to sign up with us. So we don't always want to engineer what we put out content wise for likes. We want to see how often it converts people. Just a random aside, but in terms of flow, just kind of going back to that area, because it is like a very helpful principle to organize to make progress faster. So another example of how you can use flow in order to get you where you want to go is, and this is, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do it specifically like this, but let's go back to that same person that you're really vibing with and legitimately being helpful. You might ask them if you can clip up that, I don't know if you record your sessions if they're on Zoom, but some clients are open to allowing us to clip up those sessions and make them content pieces themselves. And that's putting you on the stage of having like the most energy and the most tuned in. It's an optimal time to put yourself out there. And it's a lot of the time stuff that people who haven't yet signed up to work with you don't really understand what it is like to work with you. So you're able to give them a best example and kind of pull back the curtain a little bit. So this is another way that you can use flow in order to essentially, for any work you do, you've got that 1 hour session with this client. Now you've added a little bit more time to create some long-term assets that you can then use to market yourself. And you've also potentially got some content that you can put out all from that one session, rather than alternatively doing your session with the client, coming up with random products and lead magnets in the absence of any kind of feedback, and creating some random piece of video content that tries to show what it's like to work with you in a sort of simulated environment. So these are just ways to create a higher degree of efficiency within the stuff that you would already be doing. When we sort of align the psychology with the high leverage, with the flow and efficiency, we do see people move much faster just because they are able to get into momentum very quickly. So just as like a roadmap for you, just taking some time to determine how you can increase that clarity and that connection and empowerment, devoting a little bit of time to figuring out what you at least hypothesize would be your high leverage, and then getting some data. And then as you're working, doing the high leverage things or with your clients, how you can chop all that work up you're already doing into sales and marketing assets. So this is a way that we shrink the number of hours that we end up working on this. And we also create a higher degree of flow in the hours that we are working. Does that make sense?
Completely. It sounds great.